What is a dream car? For most, it's something exotic, something rare. But for the select few, it's something that can't be bought. It has to be built.
I remember seeing a Conquest at a car show years back, and I fell in love with the look and the style of one, and I always knew I wanted one and I would find one. I knew I never was going to keep the forklift engine in it, so we ran across this one at a good deal, and it just, the way the stars aligned, this become the vision that we see as building an ultimate track car, and I think it's far surpassed what we were expecting it to be. The wide body was actually so that we could fit wider tires. Like, sole purpose was to do like a metal wide body, no fiberglass, no molds, no rivets. We wanted to keep everything like handmade and custom, and it it turned out awesome. It's the coolest wide body Conquest I've ever seen, just because it complements the factory body lines that were there just by exaggerating them a lot. As far as the wheel and tire package goes, we're running a set of Weld S77s that are 10.5 inches in the front by 18 and 11 inches in the rear by 18. And they're wrapped in a set of Falcon Azini 615s, and they are phenomenal so far. We look forward to putting a lot of miles on them. The engine transplant from it, we started with the LS2 out of a 2007 Cadillac CTS-V that was my daily driver, and we actually totaled it. Somebody ran a stop sign and took it out. So we took that engine and stuck it into the Camaro originally, and then we pulled it and put it in the Conquest. It's been a crazy amount of work to make that happen. Yes, you can put the LS2 or LS series engine in the Conquest without cutting the amount of body that we cut. But for the better weight displacement, we ended up cutting the entire firewall, trans tunnel, rear floor pans, and everything out of a 40,000 mile rust-free chassis, just so we have better weight displacement, and I wouldn't have to buy a $700 oil pan. So we're kind of a little bit of a cheap ass in there too, but it works out. Car handles like a dream. It performs just like you would expect it to. Now that we had the engine pulled back into a awesome like place for weight displacement, we needed to really start thinking about the suspension and the handling and the performance of the chassis. I mean, the cars handle pretty good. The steering system is a nightmare on these cars from the factory, and that's why we switched over to an S13 240SX rack and pinion. We had to cut it. We wanted to make it right and take our time and do it where we have this gorgeous final product that we're actually kind of terrified to take it on the track because we don't want anything to happen to it. And as far as the actual suspension components go, we went with some polyurethane bushings from MKS Motorsports, and we did the D2 coilovers, and the car really handles great. Considering that at this moment we still have yet to put the front sway bar on the car, it's rolling just on the coilovers. It actually handles like you're just driving a giant glue stick. It is amazing. The big wing is it's the first part of the aero package on the car. The aero package is by far not complete. We still have to build the front splitter, side skirts, and rear diffuser, but one aspect of the car that we both, or me and Wesley both, wanted in the build of the car was this giant, just cartoonish wing to just really throw it out there like, hey, it's big wing time. Yeah, and as far as the interior goes on it, it's as raw as we could get it. We weren't planning on cutting the rear floor pans out of the car, but we were behind schedule, and when the Momo seats arrived and we stuck them in the car, we realized that there was no way we were going to get in the car with helmets on. So we ended up having to build custom floor pans to drop in and weld all solid so that we could fit the seats in. Now, as far as the roll cage goes, that's actually the first roll cage that me and Wesley have ever built. First time ever messing with a tube and bender and actually like designing and building it from ground up. And I am proud to admit that we only sacrificed 1 4-foot section of pipe so that we could have our initial bend radius of our bender. And other than that, it fits super, super tight. After building the first one, we know there's a couple bars that we could have added to make it a little bit more structurally, safe, but it'll do what we want it to do, and I feel comfortable in it being the best roll cage that we could possibly ask for right out of the gate. So we're running a 8-point roll cage designed in it, and it actually runs all the way back to the back to reinforce the chassis mount wing, and it is made of 1 3/4 120 watt DOM tubing, and it was TIG welded, and I did get a little impatient and had to MIG a couple spots, so there's a few ugly welds in there. They're on me, they're not on Wesley. I'll take the shots for those. So we set out to build the ultimate track car, and with that being said, it's got a full fire suppression system in it. We're running a reverse swing AFCO pedal assemblies. It's all manual brakes. There's no booster. It is straight race car, in and out, upside down, as best you can make a race car. I feel we accomplished that. My dad put in so many hours right beside me. We had some friends help, but I really do want to take a moment to give my dad a huge shout out for supporting this, because we have hours and hours, and Pops's fingers were literally cracked and bleeding from the amount of block sanding that we've done to make the bodywork as perfect as it could. And we actually started with a really, really clean body. That all goes out the window when you stretch out each fender almost 3 inches and go into that. But the amount of bodywork to make the, I'm going to call it Inspiration Green paint job this perfect, it was a massive labor of love. And I want to say thanks to everybody that helped with that, including my dad. Now you guys have been following the whole build for the entire year that we put this car together, and you've sat here and heard me talk about it. So let's take a moment and enjoy some beautiful cinematics by my man Wesley, and catch her going down the street. Wesley, not the street driving footage. Let's give them the racetrack footage. Guys, we really hope you enjoyed the entire build of this car and all the content we drop. Your support means more than you ever could think. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next really insane build, because 2023 is going to be wild.